Welcome back to Pajama Productivity. I'm your host, Regine, and you are back to the podcast where we prove that you can build a massive career from the comfort of any corners of your house. And today, we need to talk about the robot in the room, literally a robot in the room. If you logged into LinkedIn or even on different social media platforms, that's not necessarily just the professional side in nature, right? Or if you've opened a newsletter recently, you've probably seen the doom and gloom warnings that AI is taking over the freelance world. Specific tasks you're writing, website creation, right? AI can manage calendars and emails now. So, really, is the virtual assistant industry going to die because of AI? Right? If those headlines have given you a little spike of anxiety, I want you to take a sip of your coffee, take a deep breath, and relax. Because today, in this episode, we are changing that narrative from fear to empowerment. The truth is, AI is not your enemy, it is your ultimate co pilot. Today, we are diving into AI and the VA and exactly how to use automations to your advantage as a freelancer. And we're going to talk about the tools that will save you hours and hours of work throughout your week, throughout your month, how we will frame this to your clients, and why the human heart is still something that the algorithm can never replicate or replace. So let's dive into it. To help us cut through the confusing tech jargon and to get into the real practical strategies, I have an absolute wizard on our show today. He uses AI every single day to maximize freelance workflows, and he is here to show us exactly how to use automations to our advantage as freelancers. Please welcome to the couch, Smart VA's Learning and Development Lead, Adrian D.
Hi guys, good evening, good morning, or good night in your place right now. So if you're listening in this podcast, welcome, and we'll talk about AI and all the things that we need to know about automations and AI or LLMs in this matter.
Thank you, Adi. Before we jump into that, why don't you introduce yourself? Give our little listeners a little background of what you do, what you were doing before, and how you were actually able to integrate AI into the workflows that you have right now.
All right. Of course, I'm Adrian D. I'm the learning and development lead here in Smart VA. So back in 2016, I started freelancing. I delved in tasks such as website development, Amazon management, data analytics, and reporting, and all other tasks as a virtual assistant. And right now, I'm the learning and development lead. I manage the learning and upskilling of our VAs here in Smart VAs. And right now, um, I'm developing the tools that we need here in Smart VAs to have our AI learnings and upskilling for our virtual assistants. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I also use AI as part of my daily work here in Smart VAs.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Adi. I'm sure our listeners will learn a lot from you today, as everyone at Smart Base actually gets to learn a lot from Adi. And as you've mentioned, Adi, you work with AI every single day. So I'm sure you see its full capabilities. I know that we've explored several AI tools, which I will not mention specifically, right? But I think we've explored maybe 4 to 5 AI tools. One of our clients' business is actually an AI tool. So that's the six that we're actually working on or we've explored, right? So seeing its full capabilities for the VAs listening right now who are genuinely or could be genuinely worried if they would at this point be obsolete in the next months or maybe next year, right? What is your reassuring reality check for them?
Of course, we need to understand first the AI field right now or AI environment right now. We are moving toward AGI. So what is AGI? AGI is artificial general intelligence, and that's like the peak of artificial intelligence, and that's the goal of any of AI companies right now, like Anthropic or OpenAI. And we need to understand this context because AI is fast paced, and AI can definitely be more intelligent as time goes by. And to be grounded with reality here, if you refuse to learn this, if you refuse to use AI and be integrated in the workflow that you're doing or the processes that you're doing in any of the projects that you have, you will be obsolete. So that's the hard truth. That's sad and unfortunately sounds scary, but of course, there's also the green pasture. So you have the leverage right now, you have the time right now to learn how to use AI effectively and how to use it in a way that you will be an AI manager and give more value and more insights to what you're doing right now to your clients. And that will be your leverage also an advantage to AI. So if AI is moving towards AGI, you're moving towards to be an AI manager. And that's your advantage. And um that's how you will stay in the game for the rest of this AI thing.
Great. That's definitely good information to know. And if you, like me, aren't really feeling reassured, one caveat to what Adi shared really is despite the advancement of AI right now, a lot of the AI tools that we have that's existing are really prompted by humans. So it's not as if you're going to be obsolete. What Adi was I believe what Adi was emphasizing is the need for us as freelancers to be able to be in the game in terms of utilizing and managing AI for our workflows. And in terms of, myths and misconceptions, Adi, what is the biggest myth or misconception that you see that the freelancers believe right now when it comes to AI, to what AI can actually do versus what it cannot do?
Actually, you already answered the question, because like freelancers or virtual assistants right now, they see AI like Jarvis, or they see AI like if you press a button, it will automatically create something, or it will automatically do your job. But that's not the case. So AI would need your input. AI would need all the context that it needs from you, from the business, from any information that they need in order for them to execute tasks. So that's how you will help your clients, and how you can leverage your knowledge about AI and how to use it properly in order for you to provide more context and more value to your clients. So AA lacks the context to catch brand misalignment um, or any errors and issues that it might cause. Like for example, in AI generated graphics, you can see hands, for example, that has six fingers. So you AI right now needs more context for it to provide more quality output. So as a freelancer, as an assistant or virtual assistant, you are the orchestrator, or you are the um, context provider for the AI. So that's the myth that I want to break as well. AI is not automatic as we want or we imagine it to be, because AI right now needs an input to for it to execute tasks properly.
Yes, definitely. And if, for freelancers or virtual assistants, if they've never touched an AI tool besides, maybe basic Google search, what is one tool that they should open today that has the lowest learning curve but the highest reward?
Aside from the major LLMs like Gemini or ChatGPT and Claude, the one tool that I'm using most of the time is Notebook LM. So Notebook LM is a type of tool that can handle research, can handle video production, can handle as well as report creation and all other um, needs when it comes to project and tasks management. So it also has a context input. So you will need to put context to it. You will need to put documents or any type of materials or information that it needs for it to provide you something like mind maps or anything that you would need. Since I'm a learning and development lead, I'm also fond of learning, of course, and Notebook LM is the best for that one. It's because it can create mind maps, it can create video walkthroughs, or it can create graphical content that can, or infographical content that can help you learn something. So that's one tool that um, that I can share.
That's going to be very
That
powerful
yeah,
for VAs. And I think you tapped on something that's very important also, Adi. You know how you shared Notebook LM, or the tool that you're currently using right now, is something that can do video production. It's something that can do reports and documents. I think one thing that I really noticed about AI right now is that there are specific AI tools for certain things. So it's not as
yeah.
if one AI tool can do everything, right? You know, there's Victor that we hear a lot from our clients that can actually do the technical stuff. And then there's the creative ones. And then we have Claude who does the document side. So I think what's important in the industry right now for the freelancers is identifying the tool that's best for your skill set or for the
Yeah.
service that you offer, right? So regardless of what Adi and I are able to share, or primarily Adi is able to share in this episode, you know, I think the primary important step for you to take is to identify which AI tool is best for the service that you offer. Because I'm sure there's no tool, I'm not sure, but I think no tool actually exists in terms of full scale services. Because based on what we've seen with our clients right now, right, Adi, they use different tools for different things.
Yeah.
So I
Mhm.
think that's also an important thing that we need to consider as freelancers. But I know a lot of the things that you do, Adi, revolves around workflow. So since I know that this is something that you do regularly, right, and this is something that you aim to improve for our team at Smart VAs, what is a tedious, boring administrative task that used to take a VA 3 hours, but now can be done in 3 minutes using the right AI tool?
All right. To your point as well, every skill set or every task should have a different tool or different AI workflow that needs to be followed. So let's start with the basics first. Of course, when it comes to the basics, administrative tasks, you have email triage and also meeting summaries. So for email triage, you can make the AI um, label all the emails that you have and put it on the folder inside the email so that it will be organized and everything will be organized on your end so that you can just click and see what you need to reply to. And of course, in meeting summaries, if it's a long meeting like 2 or 3 hours, you have the AI summaries right now in order for you to have better context of what they're talking about. And it can also give you the the talking points and action items that you need to have on your document as like minutes of meetings or any document that you need to send to your client or to your teammates in order for them to take action on the meeting. So that's the basic example that I have right now for AI to help you become efficient in your work.
No, that's a very good example because I think it would be difficult to break it down per service that you provide, right? Because I'm sure it's going to be a different, tedious, boring administrative
Yeah.
task if you're a web developer, if you're a social media manager, right? So I think it really boils down to the basics if you're starting with AI, and it's definitely managing the emails. Even if it's your email, it doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily have to be the client's email, right?
Right.
It can be your email, where you don't have to spend time rummaging through the entire 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 emails that you have.
Yeah.
One click or one right prompt with the right AI tool can definitely help with that. And I definitely agree with the minutes of the meeting too, because that's something, as someone who attends a lot of meetings with our clients, right? It has been a relief to have, you know, a tool that actually takes transcripts that you can be able to generate the minutes of the meeting from, and even extract action items from without you having to write it down manually. But of course, there are good practices here and there. And a lot of people, Adi, are getting frustrated because AI gives them generic robotic answers. This is where I started, and I will be very honest. I was telling I'm very good at creating emails. I think that's one of my strengths. I'm very good at drafting emails. That's why it took me a while to be able to jump into utilizing AI. I feel like I'm so much better than what AI was actually able to generate in responses, right? So what is one quick secret that you can share, Adi, to writing a better prompt so that AI actually sounds human and more useful?
Yeah, for this one, when it comes to better prompts, I have a tool that I use and a framework that I use in order for it to generate more like human output and follows the template that I have, or follows every need that I need for it to create. So I follow the critical framework. So critical framework stands for C is for context. So context, what is the situation, or what is the thing that you need for the AI to do? R is for role. So what is the persona? Is it a marketing strategist, or anything that it needs to be as a role? And I is for instruction. So what is your instruction? What exactly what you need it to do? So for example, if you wanted to write an email, or write an email sequence, or automation and all that, so you have to put instructions to it. T is for tone. So the tone of voice, for example, if you have a client that has a specific brand or a specific tone, you need to put the tone of the brand. So the vibe, or how should it sound? Should it sound like cheeky, or should it sound like empathetic, or funny, for example? So that's the tone. I is for input. So the input is the information that it would feed. For example, the documents, or any FAQs, or any context that it needs. So that's for input. Or for example, a screenshot or a graphic content that you need to put in there for it to understand what you need, what it needs to create. So that's input. C is for constraint. So what is the rule, or what are the boundaries that that the AI would not do. So, for example, do not use the word or vague words, or any other type of words that you can think of. So that's constraints. And A is for audience. So audience is your target audience who is receiving this, who is um, who is the main receiver of the output that it will give. So that's audience. And L is for layout, or the format, or the template. That, for example, if you have a format for your MOM, if you have a format for any strategic document that you have, or SOP, for example, that's the current layout that you have. So you need to put the current layout, or to put the template that you have. So that's critical framework. And that's how you can utilize AI for it to produce better output, and not sounding like the typical AI, typical robot that you are talking or conversing to. So that's more of the higher level of prompting. But of course, you need to put all the context that it needs for it to produce the output that you need as well. So if
Maybe
you
that's why
produce,
I
or
feel like maybe that's why I feel like it's so difficult. The way that you said that you spelled out critical and you had a word per letter, I feel like it's so complicated. And then I just write the email myself.
yeah, that's actually some of the tasks that I do. I actually don't have the time to prompt it that way,
Correct, right?
so I just do the task.
Sometimes you just do it. I think it would also depend on your expertise, right? It
Yeah.
would depend on your strengths as a professional, not just a freelancer, because I'm sure AI is also something that's widely being pushed in the professional
Mhm.
corporate world, right? I'm sure they're developing their tools towards that as well. So I think it's just a matter of knowing where to use it, where you need help,
Yeah, where you need it. I, I
right?
I also said it's more of like a high level of prompting. So if you need high quality outputs, you need to have a critical framework. But if you just conversing with AI, like brainstorming, or conversing for any ideas or anything like that. You can just have conversational prompts right
Prompts.
now.
Yeah, and I think that's how I use AI myself in terms of the tasks that I handle or the tasks that I need to do. It's really just more conversational just to get the ideas flowing, and I think it defeats the purpose. If your goal is to use AI to make it sound more human, I think it defeats the purpose of you existing as a human managing AI anyway, right? So I think that's also one good reality to where we're at right now. Yes, AI is definitely advancing how things work, less work for people, but what it actually does is it's just supposed to make your life easier, not necessarily
Mhm.
replace you. And it's good to, it's good to be able to see, a structure that you were able to build for yourself, Adi, to be able to just make it come up with results that are aligned to what you actually expect from it. How do you handle the ethics of using AI with clients? Do you openly tell your clients or me that your boss, your supervisors, right, leaders that you work with, that you use AI to speed up your process, or do you just let the fast results speak for themselves?
I think if someone is an CEO or a CEO or any client that
I think I know what you're
yeah,
gonna say.
right now, they're aware of AI and they're aware of how to use it, what it can generate, and what it can also do. And I think they are aware if you use AI for the job that you're doing. I think the advantage or the advantage that you have for the tasks that you're doing is for it not to be sound like or to have like an AI identity. So the framework that I have earlier, um that's also how you can have um
Maybe
more
personalized. It's more personalized
yeah,
to how
personalized
you want things to be
approach.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. I like that. Because it's to your point, right? I definitely know. And I'm sure business owners and clients know, right? And I think that's going to be the downfall of AI. Wait,
Yeah.
I might be quoted. No, there's no downfall to AI. I might be quoted and we might be blocked. I think that's something that AI will not be able to catch up on in terms of having humans as an intervention. Um, it helps you speed up the process, but the
Hmm.
work that you actually put into it to make it more personal or to make it more suitable for the business of your
Yeah.
client or for the work that you're supposed to do. I think one thing that I hate, hate is a big word, yeah, but one thing that I do not like about team members who use AI is that they don't check. You
Yeah.
have to
Right.
read through what AI generates before you submit it to your clients or
Hmm.
submit it to your leaders, right? Because again, it's about using the right prompts. And even if you use the right prompts, there are still areas there that you need to improve
Yeah.
so that it's more personal and it's more direct and it's more fit to what you actually want to submit. Right. And I think that's a good way to open up the AI discussion. And I'm sure this will open up a lot more doors for the VAs. Do you have any message or tip, Adi, for freelancers right now?
So for freelancers right now and using AI, of course you need to learn what it is and to learn how to use it properly. And how to use it properly is to integrate it to your workflow in a way that it would not also produce like AI-like output. So for example, right now in SEO, Google has a way to know if it's AI generated, and it would also rank more websites that has an authority for them. So in using AI, you need to have more heart into it. For example, like you need to have more um, or you need to put more of the personality of, for example, if you're working in a project for a client or for a brand, you need to put the personality of the brand to the AI, not just like prompting it, like conversing with it and all that. You need to put the brand itself on the AI itself. So you need to learn how to use that and how to integrate that in your workflow so that the AI would have better context on what you wanted to do and all that. And when it comes to using AI, don't just rely on AI. Rely in your mind because your mind is more logical and more understanding of the context better than AI because humans can identify emotions, humans can identify um, the areas that AI cannot identify, right? So when it comes to basic human grounding, like I said in one of our meetings in Smart VAs, right now audience can identify if the content is AI generated, and they are leaning towards to more humanly created contents. Like for example, they are seeing human like talking heads and all other content that would speak to a human itself. So that's actually how the audience is right now. And you need to also leverage that in order for you to use AI effectively in your process and workflow so that you will produce more quality outputs and grounded outputs.
Perfect. I love how you said grounded outputs because at this point, I think everyone, well, mostly, well, maybe majority of our listeners, majority of the professionals, right? Whether you're a VA, you're a business owner, you're a team member, right? You'd be able to say, this was something that was generated through AI, right? Because it lacks that human touch,
Yeah,
that human connection. And as someone, and who leads operations training and recruitment at Smart VAs, I'd love for us to be able to also share with you how we actually approach AI utilization for or towards our clients in the work that we do. I think there are two approaches to it, or maybe three, or maybe two major, and then we can break it down from there. And then Adi, feel free to jump in, right?
yeah,
If you are in an agency like Smart VAs, what's nice about how we support AI advancement or AI utilization at Smart VAs is if there's an opportunity for you to be an AI manager, that definitely is equal to a reassessment of your hourly or your monthly rate depending on um your independent contractor status, right? At some point, I'm sure our clients would be able to say, hey, I need an AI manager. I need someone to manage Victor for me. I need someone to manage Claude for me. And that would definitely entail a reassessment of your rate, right? But if you're the second major factor to this is if you're an independent freelancer working directly with a client, I think it's also a matter. What's important is you know how to phrase it in a way that you're able to provide more value add for your clients because you are able to utilize AI as your ally. And that's a good way to wrap this episode up as well. AI is there. Yes, AI can definitely lead. AI can definitely decrease the need for VAs, not just VAs, even agents in the call center industry, right? It has definitely been a threat. And that's why it's important for us as independent freelancers or virtual assistants that we know how to utilize it to our advantage. AI is definitely a tool that can help you be more of value add for your clients, right? And that's why if you're someone that's hourly paid or working on project based, if you utilize AI well, you'd be able to generate more ideas. You'd be able to get case studies, right? Factual data very quickly compared to how you had to do research before to be able to provide more value
yeah,
towards your client. Do you want to add anything to that, Adi, as we close off today's episode?
yeah. So for the final thoughts, of course, AI is not end all be all. It would require who orchestrate, or it would require someone who orchestrate everything. And when it comes to being an AI manager, you are the one who orchestrate everything. And also another advantage that we have as virtual assistants or freelancers alike, we have or the AI right now has a massive increase in tokens and costs that would make more and more businesses rely on human AI managers that can leverage AI with minimal token usage and costs. So if you are an AI manager and you utilize AI for your work to be efficient, more and more businesses would look for that skill. Because if they're just using AI right now independently, it would cost them so much more. It would cost them so much tokens and cost them everything, or more than what human can offer, human or the human cost in their business. So I think that is also a leverage, or that's also a factor in virtual assistants right now, or freelancers that leverages AI for or in their workflow. Because yeah, as the cost increase, of course, more businesses will look for AI managers that can utilize AI properly.
To their advantage. Yeah, I agree. You know what's nice about this discussion, and as I believe it's no, going to be ever evolving in the way that
Yeah.
technology used to be ever evolving for all of the things that we're doing, right? This is definitely, I think we barely scratched the surface here for AI. And one good takeaway really is to know the tools that you need. To be able
Mhm.
to be more efficient and to be able to be to offer more value for your clients, regardless if you're in an agency, if you're working independently. But what's important is don't be scared of it, because you have to
Yeah.
know how to use it to your advantage. At the end of the day, a machine, a robot can mimic human language. Really, it can, but it never can replace human connection. And at some point, again, we're humans. We will crave for that connection,
Yeah.
whether it's virtual or physical, right? I'm sure at some point, those people who's just staring, or business owners who's just staring at AI, would want someone else to
Yeah.
validate what AI said, right? You can't
Yeah.
replace human connection. So use the technology to handle the boring stuff. Again, it's not just for what you do for your client. It's what you do for yourself to be able
Yeah.
to provide more, right? So you have the energy to bring the heart to your business, or to bring more heart into what you do for your clients. A huge thank you to Adi for hanging out with me today. I believe if we talk more about AI, we can, it's going to be a very long episode, but I love how we were able to capture the gist of it. Watch out for our next episode, guys. It's going to be very interesting because we are going to have our CEO on the couch talking about what it really means to manage an agency, and why VAs actually get a certain amount, and why the agency needs to have a certain amount of revenue to keep the agency running. And I know that's a very important topic. But thank you again, Adi, for being with me today. Stay cozy, keep showing up, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you, guys.